people of a great state with great minds. Rise to the faith that all these are possible and many more. Hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. I rise to the faith that Akwa Ibom was created to be great. I rise to the faith that Akwa Ibom is destined to be great. I am an Akwa Ibomite. I rise to the faith of greatness. Medakanda Akwa Ibom. Dakada, can we please remain standing respectfully as I invite the Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Nene Afia, to please kindly come forward and lead us in brief opening prayers.
In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, Father, Lord, this evening we have come. We have come, Jehovah, Lord God Almighty, to discuss Akwa Ibom State. Holy Spirit of the Most High God, this is a family, and it is more like a family meeting. Remind us, O Lord God Almighty, to put our personal differences aside and to know that it's all about Akwa Ibom project. First, we are here because of Akwa Ibom. Secondly, we are here because of Akwa Ibom. Thirdly, we are here because of Akwa Ibom. And finally, we are here because of Akwa Ibom. Glorify our state after this meeting, O Lord, in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. You may please be seated. Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, most parts of the world have been in the lockdown for the better part of the last 6 weeks. And I'm sure it's been a while since a good number of us had the privilege of sitting face to face with His Excellency the Governor. Even colleagues, journalist colleagues, it's been a while some of us saw each other. But for the miracle of the media, maybe the social media, maybe even interaction would have been a bit difficult. And well, we've seen His Excellency today, and he's sitting here with us for an interaction. May I please request that we give a warm round of applause and welcome His Excellency the Governor to this interaction. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. You're clapping as if you have mask on your hands. Please put your hands together for His Excellency. The mask is on your face, not on your hands. The Deputy Governor is also here. Please put your hands together for him, Mr. Moses Seko, MFR. And of course, the Secretary to the government, Akwa Ibom State government, is here. We also want to welcome all the other commissioners that are here. Please put your hands together for all of them. Thank you very much. I would please request the members of the fourth estate of the REM that on your behalf that I welcome the chairman of the NUJ Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Amos Eto. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very, very much. Your Excellency, the Governor, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're here for a very important engagement. An engagement which of course is necessary, knowing very well the very critical and important role that is played by members of the fourth estate of the REM in informing, in educating, and entertaining the people who depend on us for genuine and accurate information. This is, of course, a press interaction with His Excellency, our Governor, our number one citizen. I want to welcome all the people who are joining this live telecast because this event is being beamed live on the radio and television services of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. I have it on good authority that we also have Excel FM. I think they are also carrying this live. And the live footage is being streamed across all social media platforms that are related with the government of Akwa Ibom State, and even those ones that are personal social media platforms of His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State. And so to all the people who are watching from different parts of the world, this is welcoming you to this very special interaction. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, sir, I'll invite for a minute or two to give us welcome remarks. Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Information at Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Charles Udo. Please put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Secretary to State Government of Akwa Ibom State, the Head of Service, Honorable Commissioners, the Chairman of NUJ representing everyone else here. It is with great pleasure that I welcome all of us here today. It's historic because this is the first press briefing we are having in Akwa Ibom State that is social distancing compliant. And so we are all privileged to be here witnessing this event. But before I go ahead, let me please use this opportunity to thank His Excellency the Governor for finding out time in his busy schedule to meet with the gentlemen of the press. It is time for us to close ranks. And that's why His Excellency the Governor has found it expedient to come out here to meet with us. And so on that note, without spending too much time, I have the honor and pleasure of welcoming you once again to this forum. And I trust that it's going to be very fruitful for all of us. Thank you and welcome.
Can we please put our hands together for Mr. Charles Sudo, Honorable Commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Information, Akwa Ibom State. One more time, please, ladies and gentlemen, we should please remember the ground rules. We will not let anyone speak into this microphone without a nose mask or a face mask. That is for very obvious reasons. At this point, may I invite most respectfully our governor, our number one citizen, His Excellency Mr. Udom Emmanuel, to please address us. Please put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen, as he comes forward for that purpose.
Please, shall we be seated? Since I think we've observed all the ground rules, so we are ready to start. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Honorable Commissioners, I'm hearing a background music somewhere. Where is it coming from? Especially the Commissioner for Information, Chairman NUJ, and convener of this meeting. I'm only in attendance. All members of NUJ in Akwa Ibom, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. In the past almost 2 months, I think the world, not only Nigeria, is experiencing what nobody, I underline, nobody alive today can conveniently say he has ever seen in his lifetime. And I want to believe, I'm yet to read about it, that from resurrection of Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago, there have been any time the entire world had been on a lockdown, the way we've experienced in 2020. So we have an unprecedented happenings based on what the world call COVID-19. And it's actually my pleasure to interact with the press today so that we can review activities and clarify issues. And I know a lot of people wanted to hear my voice, and I'm here today. I'll do less of the talking. I'll first of all allow you to talk and ask questions so that I can throw more light. Normally, on a day like this, I would have loved to bring out the entire school. But I want to show to the whole world, those who are watching us all over the world, those who are watching us within Akwa Ibom, that at times when we try to let people know that the bulk of what they read, they hear, are pure blackmail and has nothing to do with COVID-19. They might think we're just being defensive. I've been inundated with calls that my ESCO members, some say 9, some say 11, some outrageous numbers like that, have tested positive. They are in isolation centers, probably in their homes, being treated of COVID-19. So before I go ahead with my address and take questions and throw more light, I want to first of all let the world see that the whole foundation of what they've read in the past 2 weeks would be on nothing but blackmail. Please, I'm here with all the ESCO members without a single symptom, all of them hale and hearty. I would like all of them to stand up so that the camera can pick all of them. If you know any ESCO member that you know by name, by face, who is not in this room, then you mention the name. Then I'll tell you if there is anyone. I have the Commissioner for Information Health, all the commissioners are here, observing the social distancing. If there's one single commissioner you're not seeing here, that will go to buttress everything you've read in the social media. But if 100% of them are here and they are held, they are healthy, it shows that, whatsoever you've read, that probably follows all those stories, they are all but lies. Human beings will never applaud good works. It's only God who rewards good works. So I'd like them to sit down as we continue. Thank you. Let me start by a short overview. I'll start by saying here that I introduced the day by saying that we're experiencing what the entire world had not experienced before. So nobody can actually tell you, I have experience. But I also want to say something. There was a man. There's a story of a man. I wasn't there. There's a story of a man who lost the mother. He flew in from outside the country to bury the mother. So in the peak of it all, he was moving up and down everywhere. So somebody now just blocked him. He said, why are you moving up and down like this? Is this how you want to bury your mother? He looked at the man and paused and said, my mother has never died before. So I've never had experience on how to bury a mother. This is my first experience. 19 has never happened before to anybody who is yet alive. This is the first time anything of this magnitude had happened. It has no formula. Everybody is just trying the best of his managerial skills. But I also want to let the whole world know, and I want us to note that in life, the best pilot might not be the best airline manager. It is one thing to be the best pilot on earth. You might not be the best airline manager. It is one thing for you to be the best medical doctor. You might not be the best hospital administrator. It's the best thing for you to be the best of the best of the best in different fields. But administration, crisis management could completely be different from that your field of specialization. And I also understand in Africa, at times like this, you could see that it's like when we watch a football match. If you're watching from TV or you're at the stadium, it's very easy. Everybody is the coach. Pass it there, throw it there, pass to this one, score. It's very easy that way. But when you're in the pitch, it's completely a different ball game. So I try to lay this foundation so that people can understand where we are coming from. And also, a lot of people try to see things in different forms. Those things might not actually be right. And I still keep quoting the best management book I know on planet Earth. It said there is a way that seemeth right unto man, but the end thereof might not be that good to follow. So let me start by saying overview of our strides in the health sector. Since the outbreak of COVID-19 across the globe and the first case in Nigeria, I've done a series of broadcasts trying to carry the state along. Initially, when no case was identified, there wasn't necessary. we try to follow the basic principles of crisis management as we've learned all through our lives. Nobody has a formula, nobody has a solution. Just trying the best of the wisdom. And at times like this, the wisdom God has given to a leader is different from the wisdom God has given to any other person. So leadership is key here. And if you are a leader at this point in time, and you miss track, you miss from being a leader to a slave. Any leader who misses his direction is no more a leader, is a slave. So focus is key. Execution here is key. And everything God has given you as wisdom must come to play. During my broadcast, one of them I said so, that COVID-19 did not catch Akwa Ibom unprepared. COVID-19 met us prepared as if we knew. I'm not saying we knew. I say as if we knew. When we came into power, over time, we've said this over and over again, we've let people know how many containers of medical equipment that we've invested in. At 100% of the equipment that we are using today in all the health centers, including the one we set up at the Ibom specialist, 100% are equipment we bought before COVID-19. Even the 13 ventilators that we displayed, they were all bought before COVID-19. And some of you had followed me to where we were commissioning a whole lot of these healthcare facilities. And I was repeatedly saying something, that in healthcare, why we must pay attention is that the life of any citizen of Akwa Ibom is as important as the life of a governor. And that let no man boast of any position, money, or anything. That in human life, there are certain things that happen to you that 30 minutes could be like 30 days. You may not even have up to 30 minutes. So what you have on ground could be what could save your life. And as such, we would do everything to invest a lot more in healthcare facilities. And since then, we've gone to a large extent. We are not there yet. I'm not saying we've arrived. We are not there yet. But we've gone to a large extent to get this done. And we've recruited, as of today, we've had a lot of doctors, nurses. I have not less than 407 to 410 doctors. Recently, we've recruited not less than 200 additional doctors. I have close to 2,000 nurses as of today. I don't talk about other health workers. I've not included pharmacists, this one. I mean medical doctors. All these people have been recruited. And you know the number of hospitals that we have actually refurbished. Some of them, we have a documentary, is on YouTube, you can go and watch. When we are opening those, especially the secondary healthcare system, when we are going on commissioning, we allow you to see how those medical facilities were before we intervened and what it could have been today. If you have time, visit your YouTube, check again, follow through, you see what we've done. And before then, quite early in the administration, we set up isolation centers, especially the one in Ikorekpene, that we had well equipped long before now. And few cases, even from 1 or 2 neighboring states, that we had and were transferred into Ikorekpene Center, was just, I think we had one case one time, of Lassa fever from a neighboring state, and that we needed to also do something about it. Then we also had, I think, a case or 2 of monkeypox that those centers had served. But because we had all the equipment before COVID-19 started, we set up additional isolation center in Ibom Specialist Hospital. And that center has outside normal other facilities at different wards that we set up. We set up a properly well equipped with oxygen and everything. And I would like the press, we won't crowd one by one for you to see. Some of you followed me the day I did an inspection. I did inspection of those facilities even before we recorded one case of COVID-19. We set up additional 25 beds, which happened to be like what I call an executive section of what an isolation center could be. Modern facilities. We had 13 ventilators ready, everything ready, oxygen connected. And prior to that, even in terms of power, you know, in Africa, especially, let me not say Africa, in Nigeria, power is a major issue. We were not so sure of how power situation would be at times like this, especially crisis time. We had to immediately go and buy additional 1,500 kV generating sets for the Ibom Specialist Hospital so that it could power all the equipment and the central air conditioning system. All these are there, and I'm sure you must have seen it in the press. So, having done all this, we started getting ourselves ready. Set up those things, set up ICU units, brought out, opened our containers, and set all the equipment. And as of today, we have a very modern, digitized, functional situation room and call center, which is required in situations like this. And if you go, you see the situation room, the call center, every single case analysis, day by day, number of calls, number of suspected cases, number of, calls that can easily be ignored, every single thing recorded. And we have close to 50 medical experts who are manning those call centers, who could attend to these people. I want to pause at this time that my heroes, when I say heroes, whether you're female or male, is inclusive, are those medical workers who have volunteered, who have made personal sacrifices, who have exposed themselves in order to work in different committees so far to make the situation as good as we've seen. I really want to thank them. I don't want to mention names so that I don't mention some and miss out others. But you know a whole lot of them. Majority of them are professors. A lot from teaching hospital, some of them from private practices, consultants, a lot of them, house officers, all categories, nurses, volunteers who are working in order to make sure we manage these cases very well. I'm eternally indebted to those group of people. We have a whole lot in terms of case management. Our case management team is headed by a professor of respiratory medicine, if I'm correct. He's one of the best we have in this country. He's a professor. I think some of you know his name. I try not to put in too many names. And today, I'll give you the full statistics of what we've had so far. And in terms of case management of COVID-19, we have done number of specimens collected and tested, 84. Number of specimens collected and tested, 84. And first set of tests that we did, 5 tests, all the 5 were negative. We did 17 tests of 17, 12 were negative, 5 positive. That was the first one. And I would love to entertain some questions in that regard so that we can know what has happened. We did another test of 16, out of which we repeated the old positives too, and only 1 tested positive. Recently, about 3 days or 4 days ago, we did another test of 31. We had 2 repeats and everything. Only 1 came back positive. And I stand here to announce to any Akwa Ibom person that as I'm standing here, to my knowledge as a governor, I meet with these teams Every day, every night we meet to know the situation. There's no single night we don't meet. Every single night I meet with the COVID team. And as I'm standing here today, apart from only 2 additional suspected cases that will be tested tomorrow morning, I don't know of any Akwa Ibomite, anybody resident in Akwa Ibom, who had actually either through the call center or through any means of reaching to the case management people or to the entire COVID team, who, following the NCDC guidelines, needed to be tested that had not been tested. If that has happened, I'll stand to be corrected. I'd like the person to come out and let me know. Not to abuse the system on social media, not to blackmail people. Every single person. And mind you, as I said earlier, nobody had experienced this before. Everybody is following NCDC guidelines. And you must follow those guidelines to the letter. And that's what we are doing. And this test has nothing to do with me and you. The case management room, the case management team are all medical experts. So when you see people feasting on the social media, trying to say things that do not happen, this is facts. These are facts. I know facts do change. It's only truth that do not change. But the only thing that is true is just the word of God. Outside that, the rest are all facts. These are clear facts. And I want to know if there's anybody who had come out and say, hey, I have symptoms of COVID-19, and then we did not test the person, provided as at the time the person reported, we followed the case and it conformed to NCDC guidelines. And let me also pause here to say something. It is absolutely wrong for anybody to believe, even in advanced economy, no economy so far on planet Earth had tested every citizen. Not even one. No economy on planet Earth had tested every citizen. No such resources. We can't even afford it. We don't even have enough of such in Africa. Even the developed nations have not been able to achieve that. So that's why NCDC set up guidelines for somebody to qualify for testing. And it will be absolute waste of resources if we go on random testing without any reason for that. And what you're hearing, it shows thorough follow-up case management, case by case. We have NCDC report. If you want to see it, I'll show it to you on NCDC letterhead paper, scoring us that in terms of contact tracing, that we achieve 99%. 99%. So, if we were not serious, if our mapping was not correct, or if we were slacking in any level or at any point, I don't think we could have achieved that kind of result. And mind you, as you do the contact tracing, there are procedures, there are guidelines you follow. And those guidelines will lead to testing to result, and the rest of them. And let people also know, once those people qualify, governor, state, we don't have anything at all to do with that. NCDC will test, they will publish the result. The best they do after the first one, the best they do for us is just to send us the result. And I also read about this thing in social media, which is totally incorrect, that the state government rejected the first result of 5. It's another act of mischief. Because I now call for the press statement that the Commissioner for Health made when he collected that. He stated clearly that the problem was that the procedure was breached. He didn't say he rejected the result. I mean, I'm not a medical expert. I have nothing to do with the result. My own is to put things in place to make sure that every citizen's life is safe and secure, and everybody is well. So I also needed to correct that. It was pure. You can go back and listen to his voice when he granted that interview. He said no, that the processes were wrong, that they could have followed due process. He didn't reject the result. But in the usual manner, the same people who wrote everywhere that all the commissioners are sick, that we're hiding information, come on, they are all here. And within that period too, a whole lot now started coming up. People now said, oh no, that all sort of stories, that the state government does not want to test. The procedure for testing is not set up by state government. The guidelines are not set up by state government. They are set up by NCDC. NCDC came here, spent over 2 weeks with us, going through the processes and the procedure. They even, monitored everything that we did here. That is not set up by the state government. It's set up by NCDC themselves. And those were the procedures they followed, and these people were tested correctly. So all you're reading that, they say, governors say they shouldn't test, commissioners say they shouldn't test, it is not within our reach. We are working with so many medical experts. It's not just one person that will make that kind of decision on who to test and who not to test. And the issue is not just only in testing. It's how do you manage the cases and the people that you have. That's key. What facilities do you have? What human resource do you have? What medical expertise do you have? Which is what we've put in place to make sure we manage these things well based on our available resources. And I also want to really thank God that as of today, God has been so merciful. I won't say it's because of our medical expertise. I won't give glory to the equipment we have. I won't give credit to the procedures and everything we've put in place. But first, I will only say I thank God Almighty that it could have been worse. Other nations that are experiencing terrible situations which we are not experiencing, they are not more sinful than we are. It's just God decided to show us mercy. I think the first thing we should do as a people is to tell God, thank you for your mercies, that we are not experiencing this level of crisis with our level of development that we have here. Then, to follow that, still on the case management, the COVID sent us a message that they would like to support us with 100 beds and some equipment. They didn't list the equipment. One of the conditions they gave was that those beds and equipment must be in a permanent building, not a temporary building. I've also heard in terms of case management where people are trying to say the governor went to Tumbang to build a 300-bed isolation center and even put doctors' quarters beside it. That's why I started by saying that the best medical doctor might not be the best administrator. It's clear. If I now, even under this condition, let's look at one or two scenarios. Under this condition, you cannot get marquee tent anywhere to hire around this area. Where will they move from? How will you get it down here? Everywhere is locked down. Where you can get those things, interstate lockdown is very effective. That's number one. Then number two, our region, you know how much it rains. You know the kind of breeze, windy, rain that we experience here. Put patients in a temporary tent. People you are putting in isolation center under the kind of weather that we have here. You put them in a temporary tent and then you tell me whether you as a person, you as a governor, will you love to be in those temporary tents when it's raining and other weather condition? So why do I as a governor want to put other people at a place I would not like to stay myself if situation arises? Why would I do that when I can do something better? That's number two. Then number three, I've set up isolation centers and units both in Ibom Specialists and Ikoregbene that by special grace of God, we have not even used 50% of the capacity. We've never used it. We've never even used more than 30% of the capacity that we've set up. So that alone gives me, because you see, life follows a normal curve. There's where the curve is beginning, there's where it peaks, and there's where it's declining. That tells me that I have room at the initial curve before it peaks and declines to actually put up something much better. I have the land, I have everything. So the best thing is, let me put something enduring. And if you understudy the globe, study the world everywhere. If not for infrastructure, a place like Greece put up when they were hosting Athens Olympics, when they had some issues that needed those facilities, they would have been in trouble. Today, if you go to Athens, you see a whole lot of those 10 lane, 12 lane, they are putting toll gates, collecting money to maintain those facilities. And nobody can take those facilities away. The first time this thing happened, I said this is an opportunity for states to even put more facilities in place, to equip the medical facilities in case of any unforeseen situation in the nearest future. We don't miss those opportunities. And those beds, they are to give us, out of the 300-bed isolation center we are constructing, they've given us 100. So the state government will make up for the 200. And also, if you're doing a proper isolation center, I'm not a medical expert, but the little knowledge that I have, based on my interaction and what I've read, I know those centers supposed to have special equipment, which you must run the conduiting separate, that you cannot run in a marquee or a temporary tent that can be pulled down anytime. Breeze can blow it off. There are certain conduiting that must be done for oxygen, for this, for that, that must be done there. And it must be purpose-built to be able to serve the purpose. Because there is a situation where there is a direction where the doctor comes in. How does the doctor change? How does he put on his PPE? And how does he see the patient? And where he comes in must be totally different from where he goes out. If you're talking about real isolation center, where the doctor walks in must be different from where he walks out. And as he walks out, you must make provision for how he must have his own. He must remove all those PPEs, remove everything, trash them there, have his shower, then put up his clothes, and then move into an office and so on. Some of them have not even looked at the plan that we are making there. It is a pure international standard isolation center. Then once we finish the main building, there is a fence, a high fence and demarcation. Behind that isolation center is where we are building doctors' quarters. As I'm talking to you right now, all the doctors managing these cases or managing COVID-19, all of them are in a hotel. And we had to plead with the hotel to open the kitchen, open everything, then give them pass as essential services for them to be able to render service to those doctors. So the question now is, if you're setting up this place in Itumba, and these are specialized cases, if there is an emergency, how long will it take a doctor to drive from Uyo to Itumba to go and attend to a patient? I mean, how many minutes could that patient have gotten? You can't keep a doctor inside that place. So that's why I keep saying people just say things they don't know, they don't understand. And in most isolation centers, you make everything available within their reach. So there's a place where all those things are taken care of, even including restaurants and so on that they can eat, totally isolated from the main hospital. And that's what we are doing. And I told you people last week, give us the next 2 weeks, that place will be fully ready. If you go there, we're working there at night. So it shows our own thinking ahead and what we are trying to put in place. We may never even use it for COVID-19, but the facilities will be there for a very long time. Peradventure, you never can tell the future. If need arises, we will come back and live in regrets that we had opportunity to have put something down on ground, which we did not. What if we did not proactively import this medical equipment today? How could we have gotten them? People also talk about testing center in the state. I heard some people saying that the testing center can be set up in 2 days. If anybody tells you that, tell him to go back and review his certificate. He may not have gone to any medical school. If somebody tells you that and he says he has gone to medical school, challenge his certificate. He must have bought it somewhere. Nobody can set up that category 3 of testing lab that this thing can test, either category 3 or 4. Nobody can set it up in 2 days. Even some of the PCR machines we imported as a state, they are still being stocked on the way, yet to arrive. Not to talk of the consumables and accessories that will go with those machines. These machines are not manufactured in Africa. You must still rely to import it. And as of today, these machines are in high demand across the globe. Every single country is looking for the machines. Every single country is looking for testing kits. Everybody across the globe is in high demand. Even the mask you're wearing. This mask before COVID-19, I'm sure, it could not be more than 15 naira. Most of the masks we are wearing. How much is it now? Even with that, it's in high demand. Which is why we are trying to set up local ones so that it can go around, because as we gradually intend to unlock the domestic economy, gradually, I mean, we must get everybody to wear masks and observe all the necessary hygiene and the rest of them. We also, within this period, based on few cases that we've had, we had to do a lot of decontamination ongoing. We are still doing that a whole lot now. One or two corporate bodies had actually assisted us, but the state government is doing that. Major health facilities, right from the airport to major health facilities, we are trying to decontaminate them. And that will also continue. And I still call on individual and corporate support. Then we go into the issue of relief materials. I know some of you may have read about what people say. As of today, the only relief, or if we want to call it the popular name, the only palliative we've gotten from the federal government is 1,800 bags of custom bonded warehouse rice. Custom bonded warehouse rice that we got. And as I'm talking to you, our Ministry of Science, because the rice had changed color. As I'm talking, you can go and check, is it the warehouse? You know, we don't know, it's a gift. It's a gift, so we can't run down a gift. But I just want to tell you that that gift is not good for me to distribute to my citizens. I will not distribute even a bag to my citizens, because from what we are seeing, until we get the test result, but we've actually sent it for testing. Until we get the test result, it's there, but if it's not good, it's not good. It's not good for consumption. That's the only thing we've received. However, some corporate bodies had also given us some support. One or two gave us ambulances, even though they might not be up to the standard of ambulance that we have in the state, but it's a gift. We appreciate it. Some had given us few nairas here and there. And at the end of it all, we'll publish the full account of all the receipts, all the money we've received, and all the expenditure that we've made as a state. As of today, we've spent close to ₦1 billion on this, and a lot more demands are still coming. We are still looking for more. We are buying PPEs very regularly, because we are distributing PPEs to all hospitals in the state, because you don't know who will walk into the hospital for primary case analysis. So because of that, we want all our medical people to be protected. And I also want to appeal here, these PPEs are not made in Akwa Ibom, they are not made in Nigeria. We still rely on cargo planes to come in, and what we can buy depends on what comes into Nigeria. So in terms of consumption, we might not consume it the way we consume under normal circumstances. We're in crisis situation. So people shouldn't expect, oh, that these things are ready in millions. No. We try to share this thing to all general hospitals, so that as patients walk in, they can be well equipped to attend to those patients. But we also encourage patients who are suspicious of any of the symptoms, rather than going to any general hospital, please call us in the call center. Once you call us, we have enough vehicles. Even within this period, government has actually hired more vehicles in addition to the vehicles government have put in place, while we serve our ambulances for emergencies. So please make use of the call center. The call lines are all there, so that we can also send help to you as soon as possible. Let nobody wait. Immediately you observe the symptom, call us. Don't wait until the situation gets worse before you now start seeking for help. That's where some people have problems. And we don't also want to encourage dumping. Don't dump a patient on us. Once you know somebody develop any symptom, please let us know immediately. But as of today, I think the few we suspect, we are going to test tomorrow morning as soon as possible, because we still have some testing kits. But let me also say here, everybody is just assuming, even if you listen to some calls at the call center, even those that have waist pain, back pain, normal sickness, everybody is assuming, attributing it to COVID-19. Before COVID-19, we had hospitals. We were still consulting. Some hospitals were seeing close to 13,000 patients in 1 month. Those were not COVID-19 patients. So please, everybody shouldn't assume that every sickness now is COVID-19. I started one of my address by titling that address, Faith Over Fears. Don't allow fear to overtake your faith. It is not good in situations like this. So please, we will publish that. Then we also hear so much about the issue of palliative. Oh, state government, this and so many information. So I'm here, I will not read the quantity, but I want to tell you that as part of our responsibilities, we've passed this palliative to a whole lot of people. All the local government areas got. Then the first respondents, that's the entire medical group, we've sent palliative to them. The police, civil defense, non-indigens of Akwa Ibom, orphanages, including Rep Girls Rehabilitation Center, retarded, that's mentally ill people homes, destitute homes, NUJ, NLC, TUC, government house security, road safety, Nigerian Army, Navy, Air Force, immigration, correctional services, SSS, Mbogong Parawai Bibio, Atiana, Oro Union, Afi Wareket, Ndia Obolo, Plaza Boys, AKA, Fathers of Faith, Protocol, Government House Press Corps, United Labour Congress, physically challenged persons, divine coordinators of different groups, Christian Association of Nigeria, the youths of the state, customs, College of Permanent Secretaries, Health Management Board, elders. There's a group in the state they call elders. I think elders, they are certain ages and above. We've sent human rights groups, they've all collected, female youths, AKBC staff, all the village heads have collected something. 2,274 of them. I think those are the groups that we've reached at. If you know any major group, and we want it to be non-partisan, if you know any major group, please, these are for less privileged. Let us know, we'll reach out to that group. We try to reach out to as many groups as possible. You can see here we are not discriminating anybody. The first one we did through local government, village by village, and we have distributed this. Also here to answer common questions as we are reading. There's also this issue that you people are publishing all over, that the state government is trying to hide information. That's why they don't want this, they don't want that. That's totally false. Completely false. Let me tell you something which people were trying to play differently here, and we cannot allow that to happen. Check anywhere in the world, what they show, what they publish, the number of people testing negative or positive. But when it comes to our state, people want to name the patients. The patients, how can you do that? It's against medical practice. The health condition of every patient is confidential between the person's private physician and the patient. So how dare you publish the names of patients? So when you hear people talking that we are trying to hide information, it is completely false. The reason being that the information we send to NCDC, it will contain the name, address, phone number, where the person is working. When the result comes, you are not supposed to publish those names, those addresses, as the case may be, because this is purely a private medical record. Nobody does that anywhere in the world. All of you have been watching TV, from CNN to local TV. Mention one state, mention one country across the globe where names of patients are disclosed, whether they tested negative or positive are disclosed. What you see are just the number, testing positive or negative, number discharged, number of active cases. This is what you see across the globe. But here, everybody wants the name to be published. If you don't publish the name, they say you're hiding something. I still maintain the same thing again. Let somebody come out and tell me that, look, I've had symptoms of this and I've not been tested. And also, people should know, I keep repeating it, that we don't have unlimited test kits to test everybody randomly for now. No country on planet Earth has done that. We must follow NCDC guidelines. But please, let's maintain the confidentiality of our patients. It is not good. If somebody does that to you, you will not like it. So when you hear all this rumor, it is because we are trying to do things orderly, properly, in accordance with laid down guidelines. So that should not be. Someone will ask me, so Governor, in all this, as of today, how many active cases do you have? As of today, as a state, we have only 3 active cases. Only 3 active cases. Only 3. Our recovery rate had been marvelous. And we really thank God for that. We have only 3 active cases. And let me put here on record, if you can sum up the courage to go, if the medical doctors will allow you to go. I will also allow you so that you know the bulk of what you're reading are all false. If you want to see the health condition of those 3 cases, I think they will allow you. You see that they are good. Let me put it that way. I'm not a medical, I don't want to use a wrong word, but honestly, they are good. Good in the sense that physically, they might be, they look okay. Based on a layman's knowledge in our own case. But if you're testing them for COVID-19, it's positive. 3 active cases. And we are hoping that the way they are going with our case management team, who have not relented in still giving medical care to these people, they will soon be cleared. Our isolation unit, all the people who were waiting in our isolation unit in Ibom Specialist Hospital, all of them had been tested. They have all gone back to their homes. Even those ones who were there, you saw it on TV, was it yesterday? You saw it on the social media, you saw it on YouTube. So many of them even volunteered to speak on camera, how they were well treated, how the place was convenient, was comfortable, the quality of food, the quality of service, and the quality of treatment. I repeat, we can only put Akwa Ibom people at where any Akwa Ibomite can stay. We will not put Akwa Ibom people at where any Akwa Ibomite would not love to stay. So you cannot look at those facilities as it is today. And the one probably I will not answer. I will leave the Commissioner for Health to answer that one, because people talk so much. Let me also mention 1 or 2 things. The school on radio is ongoing. Please, this is for the poorest of the poor. It's for public. That's why we went on radio. We were looking for any medium we can reach the Rhine area and the poorest of the poor. At the end of all the analysis, the only one available could have been that AKBC radio. That's why we're using it. It's the cheapest of it all. Because if you want to do anything on the smartphones, if you go to villages, how many parents have smartphones to be able to allow their children have access to this? This is not like 100% Cosmopolitan where everybody have access to. No, not at all. So the only way we can reach out to those, all they need to do is, once they can afford a dry cell battery, they can easily have access to those lessons. We are concentrating mainly on JS3 and SS3 because they are the ones that will soon write competitive exams. On lockdown, I'll come back to announce very soon. We were waiting to also see and also consult with other states. You see, situation like this, you cannot do something in isolation. It might not work well. But for Akwa Ibom State, once we have a trend analysis, once the graph is now showing downwards, we do a gradual, reopening of the system. Please don't expect it's going to be 100% at one go. I repeat, it has to be gradual. We'll follow the economic, importance of different sectors, and then we'll get that open. But very soon, when I say very soon, very, very soon, you'll hear from me. I'll soon address the whole state based on that. Let me sound here that coronavirus does not know religion, does not know tribe, does not know political party. Let us not politicize something that is of this magnitude. It is really, really unfortunate that despite what we've done, the lizard that jumps from the high Iroko tree say he will praise himself if no one else can actually do that. I can look around and I hit my chest that I've given Akwa Ibom the best I could give under the present condition and circumstances. And If there is any other thing that could have been done which I've not done, in that case it means I'm not God. It is only God who knows all. I can only do based on the wisdom God has given. But as at today, I think we've given Akwa Ibom the very best of this situation. And I pray God that will see us through. It's a very trying moment because all these ones we are talking, nobody has bothered to look at. When COVID-19 started, I made a statement that the problem in Africa, not just Nigeria, the problem in Africa will not just be the virus, but the economic impact of COVID-19 on the entire continent. Nobody has pondered over that. Nobody has come out to say, I have a solution. What you see people doing is how to throw all kinds of things against the state, against the government, against the governor. Every small boy who is learning how to speak, the first thing is to go and speak against the governor and then post it on social media. We cannot be distracted by that. We are too focused to be distracted by that. We'll ever remain focused. Every single life of every Akwa Ibom person is extremely important to us. I will allow probably the Commissioner for Health to throw this other one that everybody is talking about, the assignment of a staff to a unit. When I finish taking your questions, I think the Commissioner will talk about that. But let me also ask one question. How many people, some of you manage companies, you manage corporate bodies.
And then we are also battling with the issue of testing. I'm aware that we are over 5 million in Akwa Ibom, and so far we've tested less than 100. I may not know how good this is because it could be a recipe for disaster if we do not do an adequate number of testing. And so I'd like to know how soon we're also completing this category 3 testing center.
Okay, let me answer you quickly. You are talking about the isolation center in Anwa. How soon? When I was speaking, if you had listened, I said in the next 2 weeks, we should be through. That's number one. Then number two, testing guidelines is not set up by Akwa Ibom State government. That's what I said. Number two, that the testing kits are not unlimited in supply and in quantity. Salary on the 24th day of the month. You know, in life, people concentrate more on negative than positives. There was a day Pastor Deboye told us, if you come here now, you see a woman who sits down and probably dancing all day, and you ask her, why are you dancing? And she tells you, I just remembered how God delivered me from 5 years ago. That you'll be wondering whether the woman is okay. It will not attract any attention. But if you pass and you see a woman wailing and crying seriously, and you ask the woman, what's wrong with you? You say, oh, every single flower that we couldn't even off-take everything because it's so much in high demand. All those flowers, they are coming from our flour mill. So now we've set up a whole lot of agro-light industries. We are trying to encourage people to go back to agri because that's what will drive the next economy. You know, at times, every single human being, we all have what we call adversity quotient. Adversity, same thing with state, country. As things are going this way, it will also open our eyes towards another direction. If you remember also the day I laid the foundation for coconut oil refinery, I said there will be a day where crude oil will not make meaning. I said so the day I laid that foundation. And I gave an example where palm oil, a liter, is far more expensive than crude oil, that we should look inwards. And remember how people have been castigating that. Now, I think if not for this, within this year, we should be commissioning that place. And I said so that when we were also building that coconut refinery, coconut oil, virgin oil refinery, that we also put a line where it can process palm kernel oil, same line as it's processing the coconut oil, against the future. You know what makes a difference? At times, it seems as if somebody is a prophet. A man who sees the future will always make a difference. The whole world is governed by creativity and ideas. And you know here, instead of people giving credit to some of these creativity and ideas that we've invented and innovated and everything, people are looking for a way to just smear. Those things, I repeat, cannot change our focus. We have where we are going to and we'll reach there. So don't worry. Every man God created has adversity quotient. And we'll take it up with the economic reconstruction team and then see how we'll come out of it. Will we die? The answer is no. Will things get tough? Yes, when things get tough, more ideas will come up on survival, and all of us will survive, and we'll weather the storm.
Please stick your questions to the topic of
After
the discussion.
that, I'll take one more, then.
Thank you.
His Excellency, my name is Godwin Akwa, for the love of Nigeria. My question is this, sir.
Is that a newspaper company? For the love of Nigeria?
Flaunt TV, Flaunt TV.
Okay.
His Excellency, my question is this. You said you were going to liaise with other states, for you to give, to ease the lockdown. My concern is, what if other states are not ready to open their borders? What will the people of Akwa Ibom State do, especially those that are living on daily income? Thank you very much.
Okay. At times when we speak, we like to repeat ourselves. If you are listening to what I said, no state in Nigeria can operate in isolation. Not even one. We've not reached that stage yet. That's number one. Then number two, as we are here, we are only a state. The president is yet to make his own broadcast about the two major cities in Nigeria, Lagos and Abuja. And these two major cities are linking almost all the states in this country. So, the steps you take depends on what others do. I'm not saying we would not take our own step. That's why I said leadership is about decision making. But your decision will be totally different if the federal government takes ABCD steps. It could also be completely different if they take EFGH. So, what the federal government announces today or tomorrow will inform the kind of decisions that we take. That was my submission. And also because no state can operate in isolation, and also what other states do will also determine what actions we take. I don't know whether I've answered that question well. Because, for example, right now, no matter what, I cannot say let's open our state to passenger traffic. I will not do that. Even if other states do that, I won't do that until we completely manage the case out. I will not do that because I won't be allowing Kennedy Lichuku to bring people from all over the world and be dropping here. And tomorrow, the whole thing starts all over again. So the decision will be based on so many collective things. That's why I say very, very soon, I'll come back to you on it. Can I take that to be final question? Except the chairman has something to ask me. Okay.
Thank you. Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Dominic Akban. I write for the Pioneer newspaper. Your Excellency, we wish to know how much of support has come from federal agencies to the state government, because we are aware that NDDC is saying something, and we wish to know what has come from that angle, from the federal agency, NDDC, sir.
Okay. NDDC sent us 100 million naira.
Okay. Your Excellency, the second question is, I'm going to be selfish here, Your Excellency, because I work with the Pioneer. Your Excellency, we are concerned that the machine that the state government brought for our use has not been put to use for this number of years. It is, yes. Let me ask this question. So we are concerned because by close of production by 9 o'clock,
okay, can you let your management team to see me about internal management of Pioneer?
Please.
Okay? Because you see, we are being watched all over the world. Your chairman summoned me here to listen to me on COVID-19 so that I can talk less and take more of your questions. If I digress from that now, he will query me. Please, don't let me receive query from your... So I must stay in line with what he called me for. Chairman, I hope I'm correct. Thank you, Chairman. Okay, since he didn't ask any question, any final question from anybody?
Imo, he's been raising his hand from MTA, please.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Imo Itimudo.
I'm of the Nigerian Television Authority. Your Excellency, mine is an observation. You say the relief materials, that's what we call palliatives, is meant for the poorest of the poor. But if I listen to His Excellency very well, the groups you said received the palliatives included College of Permanent Secretaries. I do not know where those people belong, sir.
Okay, good question. You know, those are the kind of questions I want. I hope you know when we acquire these materials, the governor won't carry it on his head to these people. I must rely on people to help me. So the instruction to that college, if you go to any of those people's houses, if you go to their own houses and you see them cooking those things, you can come and quote me. The whole idea is to try and see how this thing can penetrate into the grassroots. And the only way you can achieve that is through mass attack. And that's what we were doing. Even, take for example, we send it to all the armed forces. It's not for the big men there now. If inside those barracks, you could see they are widows, they are orphans. So they know how to do it. My duty is to look for a way to make sure it gets to the grassroots. It is now left for those who've assigned those things to know what to do. So it doesn't mean, for example, like you didn't mention NUJ, like the one you got for NUJ. I'm sure you can count the number of people that come to your doorstep every morning asking for help. So we must help you to help other people, because we cannot be able to reach out to all those people at the same time. And the people you have might not be the same people that I have. So for us to be able to build that critical mass of reaching out to people immediately is to give a mass attack approach. That's why we had to get everybody involved. Mind you, inside the civil service, there are a lot of people on level 1 that you would not know, I would not know, but the permanent secretary will know. That's why also we got the village heads involved. Am I correct? Okay.
Gentlemen of the press, I think His Excellency has answered all the questions that we've asked. Can we please put our hands together for him as he returns to his seat? Thank you very much. We are not wearing the mask on our hands. Can we please put our hands together for His Excellency? Thank you very much. I think it bears repeating that the channels of information of the government are open on this issue, and of course on any other issue that has got to do with the governance of Akwa Ibom. Of course, as gentlemen of the press, we know how to access the relevant people for appropriate information instead of using the medium that we actually control, like some people do, maybe those not here, to give out wrong information. It is better that we give information that will build the society and not that which will deform. We will take a brief vote of thanks from the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State, Comrade Amos Eto. Please put your hands together for him. Thank you very much.
Praise the Lord. Your Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Emmanuel, Your Excellency, our very own, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, our pride, Mr. Moses Ekbo, MFR, the Secretary to the State Government, the Head of Service here present, members of the State Executive Council, the State Vice Chairman of the NUJ, State Secretary, members of the State Working Committee, Chapel Chairman, all here present, very distinguished colleagues. Your Excellency, may I respectfully convey the warmest greetings of the leadership and entire members of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Akwa Ibom State Council, here seated. Seated before you here, sir, are the greatest set of leaders, team players, that have come to sit with you for us to share the ideas of projecting Akwa Ibom towards a greater future from this great pandemic. Your Excellency, this interactive session today remains significant, as your words have given the people of Akwa Ibom State hope, and your words have inspired the people. We are living here more determined to consolidate on our existing partnership in the discharge of information management that would sustain more confidence on the people of Akwa Ibom State in this COVID-19 pandemic. As a professional body, Your Excellency, we will continue to chart the course of partnership, and we appreciate recent efforts of collaborating with the Union towards a stronger information dissemination. The recent workshop you had for journalists in Akwa Ibom State has helped to project a brighter horizon in Reportage towards information management in Akwa Ibom State, and we sincerely appreciate it. We are living here as gatekeepers to curtail the surge of fake news and ensure that we give the people the strong confidence to believe in your administration. We also commend your sincere efforts so far towards alleviating the challenges of this pandemic, including the ongoing construction of the isolation center, which you have said will be completed in 2 weeks, the provision of medical facilities and palliatives to the people of Akwa Ibom State. We commend you, sir. May I also use this opportunity to tell you, sir, in the last 8 months as a union, we have made giant strides in our leadership, and we'll continue to work as active partners. We have a deputy governor who has actively participated in our activities, and we're very proud of him and his wise counsel, which has projected the union in great strides of our success story. We have had historically 9 seminars that has changed the narratives of reportage in line with the ethics of our profession. 9 seminars in 1 calendar year. We have had a successful press week, which has brought key stakeholders of government from across political divides to share in the theme of unity and progress of Akwa Ibom State. And a monthly congress that has brought stakeholders from the public sectors, members of the State Executive Council, have come to us to share and project the gains of your administration with us. We have continued to ensure that we promote professionalism and the welfare of our members in the discharge of our duties. And one of the legacies this administration of ours has left or is leaving is telling our story. And that is why for the very first time in the history of the union, we have come out with our own magazine, the NUJ Standard, which we launched. And the story that we started is the Ibom Deep Sea Port, which you anchor. Your Excellency, let me use this opportunity to thank you for the official card that you gave to my office. I sincerely appreciate you, sir, and say that we will continue to support your administration. We thank you for all the support you have given to us. And we also use this opportunity, once again, sir, as your children, in appealing for more support to the union in terms of our ongoing projects, sir. Support for buses for chapels, Nawoj, Swan, and the implementation of the 22% weighing allowance for government workers in the employ of the civil service. Today, sir, we have built stronger bonds in our partnership, and we are certain that this pandemic will be overcome and that God in His infinite mercies will protect us all against this plague. We look forward to more sessions of this nature, and we sincerely thank you for believing in the 4th estate of the realm. Together, we will make Akwa Ibom State the best destination as a reference of excellence in Nigeria. God bless us all.
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank the chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Comrade Amos Setuk, for those kind words, a vote of thanks, and of course a presentation to His Excellency of the magazine published by the Akwa Ibom State Chapel of the NUJ, branch of the NUJ rather. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him as a guest back. Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank every single journalist, every single individual, members of the 4th estate of the realm who joined us at this very special but very important interaction. The whole world, like His Excellency has said, has never seen anything like this. As at 5 minutes ago, 3,017,170 people have been affected with this disease all over the world. And 208,016 people, 6.89% of that number, have so far passed on. Good enough, 888 and 720,000 people, 29.4% of that number have recovered. And we still have about 1.921 million people who are active cases in most of the countries of the world. We should do our very best to ensure that whatever it is that we can do, we build this particular state, this country, we report in such a way as not to put fear in people, but to actually build the faith of the people of Akwa Ibom State. Looking forward to having very wonderful sustenance of this relationship between government and the fourth estate of the realm as those who represent the people. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, and have yourself a good evening. Having come to the end of this interaction, will we please rise one more time for the national anthem. We'll sing together. Rise, so compatriots, Nigeria's following, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Will please remain where we are. We'll let His Excellency take his leave when he actually needs to do so. And we can stop the live transmission. It's come to the end of this interaction. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.